Have you ever been part of a large organization where getting something simple done, like getting an updated brochure or maybe some branded merchandise, felt less like a quick task and more like, well, like an epic quest? Maybe one that took weeks, sometimes even over a month. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the story of Niva Bupa. They're a major player in the health insurance world, and their journey's pretty incredible. They basically revolutionized how their huge, sprawling network got access to essential branded materials. So, our mission today is to really unpack this transformation Niva Bupa went through, how they moved from this honestly painstaking, frustrating 40-day process all the way down to just minutes for distributing critical brand assets. We're going to dig into the surprising challenges they were up against, the really ingenious solution they came up with, and just how big the ripple effects were across their whole organization. You might even hear some echoes of your own organizational headaches in their story.
Oh, absolutely. And the scale here is just immense. You really have to picture it. We're talking about an organization that works with over 2 lakh health champions. That's 200,000 independent sales advisors. Plus, they got 6,000 employees, and they're all spread across something like 330 branches nationwide.
Wow, that's huge.
Really is. So this isn't just about, tweaking a small internal process. It's a fascinating case study in keeping brand consistency locked down and achieving real operational efficiency in a massive, highly distributed setup, keeping everyone on the same page in that environment. That's a constant battle.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. To really get the scale of the change, what was life actually like for their teams before this brand store thing came along? Paint us a picture, of the daily grind, the frustrations they were dealing with.
Well, it was essentially a daily logistical marathon.
Yeah.
Honestly, every single request for branded merchandise, didn't matter if it was policy brochures, a campaign poster for some local event, or even just like branded pens for a sales team. It became a whole project in itself. Imagine the hoops they had to jump through. You got tedious budget approvals, right? That could take days just to get a signature. Then endless rounds of design alignment, making sure the local print shop didn't mess it up. And then the complicated dance of coordinating with vendors, shipping, delivery.
Oh.
Exactly. Each one of those steps just sucked up valuable time and energy from teams who, frankly, should have been focused on their actual jobs, like talking to customers or supporting those health champions out in the field.
That sounds incredibly draining, but for a company that big, surely there was some kind of system, even a basic one, they were trying to use. Or was it just chaos? What were the main roadblocks to maybe adopting something new earlier? Was the pain just not bad enough yet?
That's a really good question, and it kind of gets to the heart of the problem. There wasn't one system. It was all fragmented, bits and pieces everywhere. And that led to, well, a complete lack of visibility and control. There was no central place to see what stock was available or where it even was physically. No consistent way to place requests.
So, totally hit or miss.
Completely hit or miss. Distribution was incredibly uneven. You'd have some branches or some advisors who, maybe through just sheer persistence or, luck, managed to get what they needed. But then others who needed just as much were constantly left empty-handed. It created this sort of ad hoc chaos, which inevitably led to frustration, people duplicating efforts trying to find stuff, and crucially, missed opportunities because sales teams couldn't get the materials when they actually needed them.
Right, when the conversation with the customer is happening.
Exactly. And the delays themselves, they were absolutely crippling. Even after navigating all those bureaucratic hurdles we just talked about, it still took a, frankly, mind-boggling 30 to 40 days for physical materials to actually land in the hands of advisors on the ground.
30 to 40 days?
Yeah. Think about what that actually means. A new product gets launched, right? Campaigns stall because the posters and flyers haven't shown up. Key customer interactions get delayed. And ultimately, that directly hits sales and customer engagement. In a fast-moving sector like health insurance where market windows can close fast, that kind of delay, it's seriously damaging. An advisor could literally lose a potential client just because they couldn't hand over the right brochure right then and there.
Wow. And I imagine consistency suffered too.
Oh, massively. That was the other critical issue, especially for a major brand inconsistency. Because there wasn't a reliable central source, what happened? Teams often just went rogue.
Local print shops.
Exactly. Local, unofficial printing solutions.
Yeah.
So you'd end up seeing mismatched designs, different print quality, weird color variations. Fundamentally, it just diluted their brand identity across this huge network. And for a company like Niva Bupa, where reputation and customer trust are everything, that's a massive concern. The brand wasn't speaking with one clear, unified voice. That really undermines credibility.
Okay, that picture is Well, it's chaotic. It sounds paralyzing, actually. So this is where it gets really interesting. How on earth did Niva Bupa manage to flip that? Go from that 40-day nightmare to getting materials, like you said, in minutes? How did they pull off that leap?
Yeah, this is where their strategic thinking really came into play. The core of their solution was creating this thing called the Niva Bupa brand store. But what's really smart about it, I think, is that they didn't just build one portal. They designed two distinct tailored portals, made sure it was streamlined and intuitive for every user group, whether you were an internal employee or one of those independent advisors. It wasn't a one-size-fits-all thing.
Okay, two portals. How did that work?
So for their B2B teams, that's their corporate employees, authorized internal departments, that sort of thing, they rolled out a new wallet-based budget system right inside their portal. This was a genuine breakthrough for them. These teams could suddenly place orders for marketing merchandise directly. It completely cut out those awful time-sucking approval loops.
The bottleneck.
Gone. The result: procurement got way faster, much more transparent, and just far more efficient overall.
Okay, that makes sense for internal teams. What about the advisors, the B2C users?
Right. For the B2C users specifically, that huge network of health advisors, the brand store gave them instant self-service access, like an entire library of pre-approved on-brand marketing materials. So now these advisors could just browse, find what they needed, and place orders completely on their own whenever they needed it, wherever they were.
Total self-service.
Exactly. No more chasing people down, no more waiting weeks, just faster, more productive conversations with customers because they had the exact right materials precisely when the moment struck. Imagine like grabbing a flyer for a new plan while you're still on the phone with potential client. That's powerful.
That self-service part for advisors really does sound empowering. So what about the tech behind it? Was this built from scratch, or did they plug into existing systems? How did they connect it all?
They were smart about it. They leveraged a robust, specialized platform, something like Mandala.com is mentioned, to actually power the brand store itself. But the critical piece was integrating it seamlessly with their existing HR system, the Darwinbox app.
Okay, so tapping into what they already had.
Precisely. That integration was key because it meant they could use their established employee data, provide a consistent login experience people were used to. This tech backbone gave them not just that structured process, but it also enabled offering all those different branded options we talked about. And, crucially, it powered that redeemable budget, the credit wallet functionality. Basically, if you were an authorized employee, you had funds allocated, ready to spend immediately on what you needed for your team or branch. No waiting for separate budget approvals for every little thing.
Gotcha. And you mentioned specific items. Makes it more real.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking about things that were once a massive headache to get hold of, now just a few clicks away. The source materials show, for instance, this really striking red and black backpack. And it's got this specific logo, Plant Earth, 3 trees planted. So that's not just branding, right? It clearly flags a wider company initiative, probably around sustainability, that they can now easily and consistently push out through their merchandise.
Interesting. So it's more than just logos.
Definitely. Or think about just everyday branded stuff, like those multicolored water bottles. They show white, orange, blue, black ones, or the various policy brochures for different insurance plans. These seem like simple items, but they carry the brand's identity everywhere. They convey vital info. Now, finding them is easy. They're always guaranteed to be on brand, and getting them is quick. It ensures that consistency right down to the smallest customer touch point, that kind of control and easy access. It really reinforces the brand's presence.
So, okay, they roll out this brand store. 2 portals, integrated tech, easy access. What was the actual, day-to-day impact on Niva Bupa's operations, maybe their bottom line? This feels like it would create some serious ripples across the whole company.
Oh, the impact was profound. It went way beyond just getting a brochure out faster. For instance, think about the industry they're in, insurance. Heavily regulated.
Right, compliance must be huge.
Exactly. So there's this crucial, maybe sometimes hidden bonus win: compliance, without the chaos. What Niva Bupa maybe didn't fully realize at first was that the old system wasn't just inefficient, it was a silent liability. One outdated brochure, one small error in the legal disclaimer on a marketing piece, that could mean huge trouble. Regulatory fines, legal challenges, customer complaints based on wrong info.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Definitely not. With the brand store, the absolute latest fully approved collateral goes live for everyone instantly at the same time. It guarantees every single branch, every advisor is aligned, totally up to date, and ready for any audit. That gives incredible peace of mind to their legal and compliance folks.
I bet. That alone seems worth it.
It's huge. And then there's that strategic decision. We talked about having the two separate platforms, B2B and B2C. It genuinely resulted in zero confusion. Every user gets a flow that's tailored perfectly to what they need to do. Employees use those wallet budgets easily for merch orders. Advisors get that quick self-serve access to marketing stuff. What does that mean practically? Way fewer calls flooding the central marketing or admin teams. Less time wasted chasing materials. And honestly, probably a massive collective sigh of relief from those teams who used to be drowning in these repetitive, low-value requests. It frees them up to do more strategic, impactful work.
Frees up resources, essentially.
Big time. Another massive benefit, just having everything under one roof. No more digging through scattered Excel sheets trying to figure out inventory. No more frantic last-minute calls to vendors trying to scramble for a specific item for an event. The brand source centralized absolutely all merchandise and marketing assets into one database that's easy to search. It's not just more efficient. It creates an internal vibe that's just cleaner, calmer, way more organized.
Yeah.
It turned a constant source of friction into a smooth support system.
And what about reaching diverse customers? You mentioned the scale across India.
Yes, this is another really powerful impact, especially in a market as diverse as India. Multilingual, market-ready materials.
Yeah.
Instantly. Advisors can now just download marketing materials in, I think it's 10 different regional languages, right there at the touch of a button.
Wow, 10 languages.
Yeah. It completely wipes out the old delays tied up in translation approvals, separate print runs. No more resorting to dodgy patchwork printouts or unapproved local translations someone knocked up. It empowers them to give potential clients truly professional, localized materials that help them build real trust, real connection with every customer, whatever their language or dialect. That's a direct boost to sales effectiveness.
What a transformation. Seriously, we're talking about efficiency gains that sound, well, staggering. The numbers really drive it home. 5x faster, half the effort. That's huge. And that promise of total visibility, complete peace of mind, it really nails that core transformation we started with, that shift from a 40-day ordeal down to getting stuff in minutes.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating when you step back is how simplifying something that seems on the surface kind of small, just getting reliable, quick access to branded stuff, how that can cascade into such a massive impact. An impact on the organization's efficiency, yes, but also its compliance, employee morale, and even right down to it, customer trust and actual sales performance. It's just a powerful example of how you empower a huge distributed workforce with smart infrastructure.
It really is. Makes you think. When you consider the flow of information or resources in your own professional life, maybe in teams you work with, what stands out to you as an area where shifting from days of waiting or chasing down to minutes of access could make a world of difference?
Yeah, and maybe it raises a bigger question too, right? In this world we're in now, with more distributed workforces than ever, constantly evolving brand identities, just how essential is having that single unified source of truth for all your brand materials? And maybe more pointedly, what does Niva Bupa's whole journey tell us about the often hidden, maybe unmeasured costs of brand inconsistency and those logistical jams inside big organizations? It's definitely something to chew on.